of Acharecha doesn't seem to be appropriate, so we'll do that right after Shavuos when you want to go back into real learning. We'll do what I call Cholamoya Torah, stuff which is easy to deal with, and we'll see. I sent you my Mekaymis in the Shir chat groups. I hope you have them. So first we just start the Mishnah Pirkei again. Not the Mishnahs, the Brisa. Amr B'Shua ben Levi. B'chol yoyim v'yoyim basko yoytzes mahar chayrev. U'machrezes v'emeris. Oylem lebrias melbayna shel Torah. Oylem lebrias melbayna shel Torah. Zokt about Tanura. Melbayna shel Torah me'elbayn she'olvim es ha-Torah she'aluva al she'en lo oiskim. People which don't care enough for her and not oisik in her. That's oylem lebrias melbayna shel Torah. Sagt weiter the Brisa, you call me Shein Oisik Batayra Nikra Nozuv. Nozuv means menuda. A person which is not Oisik Batayra when he can is called a menuda. He should be perceived as menuda. He's an outcast. That's called Nozuv. Nazifa bin Shemayim is called the Avia Nozab Befaneh. We're talking about Miriam. She had a din of Shiraz because she was a menuda. Okay? Nazav, Menuda, Kamay Vayiga by Aviv, the Tagumay Nazav by Aviv. So we're talking about a Nazav. So call it, that's why it's Oilam Lotai you are a Nazav, you're an outcast. Weiter steht in Brisa, Shenema Nezev Zav Ba'af Chazir, a golden ring in the nose of a hog. V'isha Yafa Saras Tam, a beautiful lady, which has no tam at all, not meat. So about Tanura. Nezev Zav Ba'af Chazir She'ena Mishamroi Elohaylich Ba'ashpa Ma'amasa. He has something beautiful. He doesn't care about it. He actually runs around with it into the mess, into the garbage. Kach Tamid Chacham HaChosem Matamim Shel Torah. A person which is a Talmud Chacham and lacks Tam Torah, the Anoga of the Torah is supposed to act. Who most Kimenuda. He's also Mo. So see what he's according to this about Tanur, when we say we're talking about the Talmud Chacham, which should be learning and isn't learning. So we're talking about you and me, people which we didn't learn. We're not talking about the person which is never oisim b'malachta, he barely has time to breathe. That's Yitzit Talmud Torah, but Shachas Parchas Harvest. We're talking people which at the moment are not working, and you're the person which should be sitting and learning, and you have a zav in your hand, and you put it in the ashpasos. It's called time, Time. It's not just the name of a magazine; it's also life. Okay, and thus is nezes. Thus speaking about tanur. It's about tanur. Was meint das? It nezes zav ba'af chazir she'ena mishamri elohayich ba'ashpa mamasa kach talmid chacham hachasem chosem bitamim matamim shel Torah. And this is the pshat also the drasha which says Isha Yafa Saras Tam. You're a beautiful Isha Yafa. You have all the potential. You have the time. You know what to do. You can do, and you're cheltach the tam. The tam of Torah is a person which understands the importance of time. As I come tais, if yachol lilmoid ve'eino lamed, you're the nazuf and you're the chaser tam. This is what it is. Isha Yafa, she has no personality. She's like bland. A young boy which can't learn Torah and has the capability of learning Torah and doesn't appreciate what time is and wastes it for nothing. That's called you're bland. Basically, see, it's a Isha Yafa Chasaris Tam. That's what it looks like. And this is called the Menuda, and this is called the Nezev Zav Ba'af Chazir. That's how this Mishnah adds up according to the Bartanura. We don't have Ramam on this because this is a Brisa. It continues and it says, we don't even have Rabbeinu Yaina on this. We have something attributed to Rashi, which is not true that it's Rashi. That's why I prefer Bartanur. Zot weiter the Brisa. And there's another pasuk which we have to know. Obviously, it's connected. What is it? V'aluchas ma'aseh elukim. That's talking about luchas rishaynos, that the luchas are ma'aseh elukim, because the luchas shnius were already psolacha. It was Maisa Moshe Rabbeinu. The Ksav was Michtav Elokim, but by Luchas Arishonis, Shavuos, the Luchas were Maisa Elokim. The Michtav Elokim. The Ksav was also Ksav Elokim. Oh, chorus ala luchos. That's the pasuk. So the brisa al tikri chorus ala cherus. She'en lecha ben chayrin el misha oisib b'tam matayr. Was meint das? Sagt about Tanur. The fee shebnei adam mishamshim lefanav. If you sit and learn mitzvah design, and you won't be looking for what the guy Koshbach is. It says in Rambam. You he'll find you a way that you won't have to in his battle. A person, God will give sight to the Shema. The person who really wants to spend every minute learning, he'll find the Koshbach is mizam him the fitzarcho, the fitzchiyosov, that other people will do things for him, which is true. Now we're not talking about parnasa. Parnasa al pidin he has to do. We're talking about other tzrachim. That's what the Mishnah says before. That if you're in vatul Torah miratzon, so Kosh Baruch Hu gives you a lot of gabois, a lot of other important things which have to be done. Remember we learned that Mishnah. So this is what it says here. Who is misalik meno oil derech eretz and ribuy oil parnasa and oil malchus for the person which is Isaac b'Torah. That's what it means. And the other yeshiva bachim thing chayrus means you're a free bird, you're on holiday all day. And you're a freeloader, everyone pays your tuition and your bills, and you can sit and party. Misha Isaac b'Torah. Think Isaac means like the Maharal. Mute b'li Havana, right? That's what the Maharal says. We learned that. If a shtickle mute b'li Havana, and other people will pay your bills. That's how some of these yeshiva bachim understand this brisa. That's not what it means. It means the exact opposite. And right, not only that, if you really use it, Isaac, it's supposed to be an Isaac, as the Magen Avraham says that your whole Isuk is in that. That's your Masumat, and that's where your head lies. Then I raise a misal, you talk a grosh, and Emma Mimatona Nachliel, Minachliel Bamot, talked about Tanur. Mimatona Nachliel, Kivish and Nit Nosnoi Loi Taira, Nachloi. Once you work hard, so they give you the Kashboch gives you're a kli kibble for the Atochen Lodem Das, you get what happens, Noichloi. If you Nachloi El, the Kivin Shieshlo Nachlan, God gave it to you as a matan, now it's yours. As the pasuk says, originally it's the Torah said Kashboch, but every come say Rosh Soy B'Toich Mei of your Torah is in your belly, so to speak. It's a Medrash. The Kivin Shieshlo Nachla, Oilo Legdula, Shenemar Nachli El B'Mois. It becomes to you a kinyan oilam, you're zeicher to the memches b'am shator niknus. It's mamish your nachla. If once it's your nachla, Kosh Baruch Hu b'koimcha yeshivucha, wherever you're supposed to be, God will give you what is needed to be provided to be mar b'kavod shemaim. That's this price. One more thing which is important to know: halaymed mechaverei perik echad. This is important for chavrusus. Oy halacha achas. Perik echad means to sagen epis perik in Tanach. In halacha achas epis halacha. Oy pasuk echad. Oy diber echad. Oy afilo oy sachas. Tzorich linig by kavod. You're supposed to be knowing kavod is kavod rabbi. Not Rabbi Muvak, but he's called Rabbi. Tzorach linig by kavod. Shekein motzina b'David melch Yisrael. Shalei lomad machitayfa elabeis dvarim bilvad. He learned from his Sachakol two things. What was that? So the Bartanura says, he has one thing which is, I'm going to read the Bartanura. Aleimin mechaver pasuk echad davar echad shel tam. You got to remember that. Epis, you said something which has tam. You didn't understand geret biater k'zagonis. You said dibur shel tam. The samach le'ekrod v'ata enish ke'erki samach yidach kra asher yachtav namtik soid lefi shematzoi achitayfel leDavid shaya yoshev osek yichidi b'Torah. He sat alone and learned. Amar le'lama ta'osek b'Torah yichidi. Why are you learning alone? V'lo kfarnem echev al abadim v'noyalu. That means to say that the Baruch was there when people are sitting together, two friends sitting together, they have their charafas out and they're fighting, equals chavrusas. That's what he learned. So David Achitaifa was megala to David the importance of having a chavrusa, not learning alone. The next thing is shuv pamacheres matzoi sha'oya nichle beis hamedrash b'kaim eskufa. He walked in like a psachev and a yeshiva bacher. He walked in a bit haughty. Amar loy valak farnema shetzarch le'ladam lekana shem b'mayra kedei shte emes shemayim olav. Those are the two limudim. He didn't tell him pshat and ki and peski and aguf. He didn't teach him all Klole Migu. He didn't teach him Takavas to verstehen was Chazaka meant. What did he teach him? He taught him, you shouldn't be a Balgaiva, shouldn't go become a Skufa. He told him it's good to learn Chavrusas. Every Mashgiach tells that to you every Monday and Thursday. No. And this is already, what did he call him? Rabbi Alufi Yudoi. So you know how much you're chayiv and covered of your chaverim, that they're megali, pshat, and ataisvis, and because of them you understand the shtikla rashba. Rabbi Alufim Yudoi. That's what I'm trying to say. Shafilu da chitev dvar beis dvarim, and these beis dvarim were not exactly for emphasis kvegas akasha. You know what I mean? Yeah, there Shane. What did he say? As karei Rabbi Alufim Yudoi. Shenever v'ata enish ke'erki. You seem to be somewhat like me, but yet, Alufi Yudoi, you are my teacher, and you're one that made me knowledgeable. Dvarim kal v'chaymer. Uma David Melech Yisrael. Shaloi lamed ma'achitayfel shnei dvarim bilvat. David Dachven Navi. Achitayfel wasn't. He was actually Rosh Sanhedrin. But what did he teach him? These two things. These are the only chidushim he could teach him. Kori Rabbi Alufim Yudoi ha'leimin mechaveiroi. Someone teaches the psaperik. Order halacha, take halacha, not he told the midas of anogav, of their cheretz, etc. It's his taivas. Teach you mamish halacha, or pasuk echad, something which is mamish epistazach, or afilo eisachas al achas kama v'kama, because you teach you gufei Torah, not just eitzes and chinuch and musar. Gufei Torah v'itza verstehen a pasuk. Moshe kama tzorach linig be covered, ve'en covered el Torah. Okay, this is something else. Adkan. That's an important thing that we're learning now. We're still in Sphere Sa'imer of the covet of Chavrusis, of Sherinagu, covet Zebazeh. They taught you in that Shir and like Ba'imer. It means it's every Mechabed of Chavrusa. Mechabed Zayin of Chavrusa because he's Rabcha Alufchum Yudocha. You have to remember this. I don't know. I never understood why you people change Chavrusas like I change socks. That's daily. You're going to start saying he changed them once as man, so I have to clarify that. I don't know. I learned chavrusas with one guy 10 years, with one guy 8 years, with one guy 12 years. Epis, you find a guy which talks your language. That's what you sail with him. I mean, I don't understand. When we were in yeshiva for 10 years together, there may be a difference. But who thought of changing? You found a guy which you can speak your language. It's Gan Eden. Okay, the sugya we're going to be talking about, I want to talk about the halacha. What is birchas HaTorah? The Raisa, the Rabbana, the Makkah, and its Agdaras. This is something which is... oh boy, there isn't everyone has written on this and spoken about this. I just want to learn the goof of the uvda, the simple things from the beginning, and we'll see things b'shoshim. I don't have to undo anything. I'm just going to read the sources where they come from, what they start. The simple way they like a pasha to eat. I want to read perik echad, pasuk echad, efshar haisach. It's nothing more than that. Nothing more. No, I promise you, nothing more. So let's get to the Gemara. If you have Gemara's brachas, which I ask you to have. I'm going to start with a Gemara in Shloisha Sha'achlu, the beginning of Shloisha Sha'achlu, which is Mem Hey Amid Aleph. Now we all know there's a halacha of Birchas Hamazon, which depends if you're Eichel K'dei Sviyah, it's the Raisa. If you only eat a Kezayis, that's a Machlekes HaRishonim as usual. That's a Ramban, that's the Raisa. That's Rav HaRishonim, that's only the Rabbana. You probably know that, right? Halacha we pass in this Rabban unless you ate K'dei Sviyah. The Ramban holds not that way. Just want you to know. It's an important thing to know, actually, in context of what we're talking about over here. That's one halacha. Now, there's also a thing called Zimun. You all know Zimun. Me'ikra. I didn't Zimun, and I said to quite a few shurma on that while I was in Keren B'Yavne. And Shabbos is trying to change the minig, Toshis Gehenim, what people do. I don't think too much to Ellis. At the end of the day, but they didn't have Zimun. I don't think any of you had a Sahava meaning that Zimun is the Raisa. You probably never heard of it. And I promise you it isn't. Now let's read a Gemara. The Gemara says, Naf Memhei Amid Aleph, the Mishnah says, Shleisha Shalach Ka'achas Chayavin Lizamin. That's very important. You're Chay. Okay, when it says Chayavin Lizamin, does it immediately hit this? Oh, it means the Raisa, the Rabbanan? No, it could be anything. We happen to know it's only D'Rabbanan because the Tidchi of Zimun is even on Birchas Hamazon, which is D'Rabbanan, according to, except if you ate less than a kazayis, it's definitely, if you ate only a kazayis or a kibetza, it's Zichar D'Rabbanan, according to 99% of the Rishonim. And there's a Chi of Zimun, which is there. So it can't be a Chi of D'Raisa to make a Zimun on a Birchas Hamazon, which is D'Rabbanan. Okay, that's more than obvious. So now look at the Gemara. So the Gemara says, Minan and Mili. How do we know there's a Chiv of Zimun? Ever the Gemara Amar Avasi, the Amar Kroy brings the pasuk Gadu Lashem Iti Unaroma Shmo Yachdov. Now that's a pasuk in Tehillim. I never knew psukim in Tehillim can create chiyuv. What is it? Is this a chiyuv? Gadu Lashem Iti. Maybe you should look up the pasuk and see what it's talking about. You want to look up the pasuk? Go look it up. Is he talking about brachas, about zimun? What's he talking about over there? You're talking about Am Shabeach HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God L'Shem Iti, and together we will say we'll be Shabeach. He's saying we should take the people together to Mishabeach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the pasuk. You say it usually over there after before Chris. God L'Shem Iti Shema Yachtov. I hope someone should be a chazan one day, try to understand what he's saying. But that's all it is. Let's all praise the Lord. That's all this is. Okay, you're the preacher. We all praise the Lord together. You all say amen or something like that. That's what this is. So what is this? This is a psadrasha. It's a halacha. What do we call this kind of using a pasuk in Tillim for a din of zimun? The teretz is a good old-fashioned asmachta. That's what this is. And the smachta, as we know, especially when it's different Kabbalah and not from the psukim, it's nothing more than using psukim to give you some kind of a remez. Whether a smachta is a external thing or it has any qualitative value, this is a machlekes harishonim, a ritva in Rosh Hashanah versus Rambam and Pirush Mishnah. Whether a smachta is just a memory note for Chazal, or it really gives a certain value to the halacha. It's like nirmas b'kra, nirma. That's a ritva in Rosh Hashanah. Okay. The people that argue with the Ritva, the Maral, the Ramban, the Rambam, he calls them apikosim, but that's okay. But nish geferlich. But so that Ritva is shaloi kedin. I just want to put that on the table because everyone likes quoting that Ritva. One has to remember that's a das yachid. It's in Torah's Rabbi Seina HaRishonim. I say that because I've heard it many times quoted. You must have heard this, that the pasuk was waiting for the Chazal to interpret. And if you don't believe you're not because the Rambam is not because the Ramban is not because even the Maral, nish geferlach, you know what I mean? We can relax. At the end of the day, those aynas are machlekes rishonim at the end of the day. Okay, so what is this? This is not smachta. It's a din d'Rabbanan, and it's not smachta. That's the next pasuk. The pasuk says kishem avaya eko havu gad lelokeinu. Now that's actually a pasuk in Azinu. Now, what's that talking about? What's Pshuta Shemikra of the pasuk? I will call out the name of God, and you will give greatness to our Lord. Tag unkelis arei b'shmo de'avaya ano matzale. When I pray with the name of God, you Ava Revusa, you will be mar b'shvach kedam Elohana in front of our Lord. That's Pashat the halacha, as Rashi says there, the famous Gemara in Yuma and also in Tainus. Rashi says there, Kisha Ekra Vaskir Shem Hashem, Atem Havu Gadol Elokeinu, Ubaruch Shemai. You should always, when I mention Shem Hashem, you should say Baruch Shemai, Baruch Shem Void. All these different things are being marked covered Shemai, once I mention the name. Mikan Omru Sho'eni Baruch Shem Void Malchuse Ache Bracha Shebemigdash. Granted, if we're going to be naked, that is take halacha deiraisa, that's also not smachta. Depends what take happened here in the pshuta shel mikra the pasuk. Is he decided to tell us by the way halacha, or is he telling us now? I'm reading a poem for you. I'm going to call it the name of God. When I call it the name of the God, remember constantly always to be ma'abukov shmach shakadosh baruch hu. Was this said b'lashon sivui, or is this said b'divrei b'derech hadracha to Klal Yisrael in context of the shira that's being read? Then you have to understand what he says. When I call out the name of the God, you God. When I read to you the name of Kadosh Baruch Hu, you should say this. Now he's saying Shira. Is he saying it Midin Tal Torah, or is he saying it Midin Shira? The pasuk is kissed from the Shira. So it's B'Hamd of Bnei Yisrael, Sima B'Fiyam. It's Allah in Shira. Did it have to be Mitech HaKlach? Did it have to have Kol HaTorah Kula there? Was the Torah Kula finished yet? Not true. The Torah was finished. It's Michael. There's a bracha. This is already a shaila when this happened. According to the Ramban, the Torah wasn't finished. He gave it already. This was actually written before by Yelech, and he wrote this in. After he wrote this in, he gave the Sefer Torah to this. But now the question is, did he say the Shir Mitech HaTorah at that stage? Or did he say it without that, and afterwards he wrote it? You have to read the Ramban. It's not that pashut there. The pashtus is he's talking in context of the Shira, nothing more than that. So this is all, once again, a smachtas. Is it a kiyum din deraisa that you have to do it, or this is a smachta? That's a question which has to be asked. But even if it's true that it's a deraisa, we're talking about specifically talking all the name of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And the Gemara says in Yuma, as we know this is daka by a bracha shebamigdash. When you say Amen, you're not doing anything. There's a minute to say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemai, but that's not halacha gemara. You all know that, I hope. Okay? What are you doing when you say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemai? You're trying to be kayim the havu gadol elokeinu. Your Amen is not havu gadol elokeinu. Amen is so let it be. We hope it'll happen. You're not being marba b'kavod HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mashen came the Migdash, they didn't answer Amen. When the Yehuda said the name of Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Shem HaMefarish, or the Shem Ayin Beis, or the Shem Mem Beis, these are the Shemus HaMefarish, and Daled Mem Beis v'Ayin Beis. So what happened? They said Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od. That's the famous Mishnah in Yuma that you also know that the halacha, the Mishnah in Yuma that we kaim every Yom Kippur. That's what we do on Yom Kippur. What do? We say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od. Where's that? Mishnah is in Amar Mamnun in the third parak. The Mishnah says in Daf Lamed Hey Amid Beis here v'kacha yomer ona Hashem. You would say the Shem HaMefarish, and the Mishnah ends v'heim onim achrav Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od. You know that we do that in the Shtach Vayis in Yom Kippur. Zok the Gemara in Daf Lamed Zayin Amid Aleph v'heim onim achrav. What's achrav mean? They say loudly after him. That answer. Oinim mean they say loudly. They say loudly after him. What do they say? They say Baruch Shem. For the Gemara Tanya, Brisa, Rebbe Aimer, Rebbeinu Hakadosh. Kishem Hashem Ekra Avol Gadol Elokeinu. Amalem Moshe Yisrael. B'shor Shani Maskir Shmai Shel Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So we're talking about Shemai HaMefarish. Atem Havol Gadol. What does that mean? You answer Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od, which is a ribui shvach. I say Shem Hashem, and you immediately praise the name of God. That's a halacha. Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od. Amen is not part of the deal. Unless Amen is what is Amen is Hamanas Dvarim, Kabbalah's Dvarim, and it's also Halavayit should happen, right? That's the Gemara in Shavuos. That's what it is. Okay, so what is this? So Rashi says, let's see what it says here. I don't think he says anything, if I'm mistaken. No, the Rashi leaves it open because it's a davar pashut. So we're specifically talking about Shmai Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Gemara brings in context saying Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od La'ilam Lo Shamanu, that Amen is a kiyum deraisa and Hashem Adnus, which is not Shem HaMefarish. Lo Shamanu V'Lo Re'inu. We only have it by Shem HaMefarish and the Baruch Shem Kvod Malchutza La'ilam V'Od. By the Pshuta Shemikra, and that's the Psukim. That's the halacha. That's the Mishnah. But now go to a Gemara in Brachas with the Gemara in Brachas. Now this is what this now. So when we bring here the idea of Kishem Hashem Ekav Agadol Elokeinu, how does this prove Zimun? So you say, what does it mean? I will call it the name of God, and you will add Shvach. What does that mean? Is that a deraisa also? Is anything to do with the Shem HaMefarish? Is anything to do with being Marba Kvod Shema? What happens? Yes, you said Baruch Shachalnu B'Shalayim Tuvachayinu. You're adding a Shvach to what you mentioned. Baruch Shachalnu B'Shalayim, Baruch Elokeinu Shachalnu B'Shalayim, Baruch Shachalnu B'Shalayim Tuvachayinu. Okay, but that's the Asor. When you don't mention Asor, you just allude to the name of God. Hashem, you don't say Yud Kei Vav Kei Mavach. Right? That's what said. What are you doing? You're reminded of a covered Shemaim. There's no Shem HaMefarish there, for goodness sakes. So this is the idea of Zimun. It's an idea Kishem Hashem Ekra And you answer, is this a din deraisa? This is an asmachta. It's a pashut. If you take the two sugis, you understand this is clearly an asmachta. There's no reason to think what Moshe Rabbeinu said, Kishem Yutke Vavke Ekwa, it means if I will say another name. This is an asmachta, and Eino Chanami, no one takes it for more than that. And this is the pasuk. And this is a minah and Emilia, and we bring psukim, just like you bought the pasuk of Gadol Hashem Iti, was a zikr and asmachta. We don't learn divrei Torah and we divrei Kabbalah. There's no din deraisa learned from a pasuk until the Mar de Kulam. Okay, so what are we talking about? This is the Chayr the stomach. In light of this, we have to go to Gemara and Brachas Daf Kaf Aleph. The Gemara says in Brachas Daf Kaf Aleph, Amar Rav Yudah, the Yisra should be here, Amar Rav, or is it? Yeah, I think it's Amar Rav. Oh no, it's Amar Shmuel. What is this? A minute. Yeah, Amar Rav Yudah, Amar Rav. That's what the Bach says. Minayin Rav Yudah, Amar Rav. Minayin lebirchas hamazon la'acharei minatayra. How do we know that birchas hamazon after the meal is midiraisa? Shenemer, as the pasuk says, v'achalta v'savata, and then it says v'eirachtas Hashem Elokecha. The Torah demands a bracha. Okay, that's an explicit pasuk. Minayin lebirchas hatayra lifanea minatayra. How do we know there's a concept of birchas hatayra lifanea minatayra? Shenema kishem Hashem eka avogayla lokeinu. We got to ask ourselves the question: the word minatayra, what does it mean in this memra? Does it mean it's a chiyuv minatayra or there's a remez minatayra? When he talks about birchas hamazon, is he talking about birchas hamazon only by kedei shvia, or is he talking about every birchas hamazon, implying he's talking about the birchas hamazon even d'Rabbanan that we do? When Rav said minayin lebirchas hamazon minat Torah, we have to look at it compared to what he says minayin lebirchas Torah minat Torah. Now you look at the drasha minayin lebirchas Torah minat Torah. Is that a din minat Torah? What's the pasuk? Yishem Hashem eka v'gadol elokeinu. How do you get that exactly to the Shema Mefarish and the Gemara in Yuma? How does that work? Read the Gemara before you do anything else. You have to look at the Gemara. Reading the Gemara without looking at any boys at the side, if I may say, well, would you understand? I'm trying to explain it, understand how the Gemara should be read alone before we see Rashi or other Rishonim, allowing us now an interpretation how other Rishonim could read this, and that's why it's important. How do you read this Gemara? Aleph, are you talking only, if he's talking about Taka Birchas Hamazon Deraisa Gomer, okay, and now he's bringing a makkah that there's a chiyuv Deraisa Gomer to say Birchas HaTorah Lifnei HaTorah. How does he know from this pasuk? Hashem Havaya Eka v'Gadol Elokeinu. How, in God's sake, do I see Shem Havaya over here? Was tut man da? How would you understand this drasha? We'll look at Rashi, okay, just to do this. Kishem Hashem Ekra in Rashi. Kisheba Moshe liftayach with divrei shira. Amar lem liyisrael. Ani mevarech tchila. What? Midin birchas hatayra. He obviously didn't do it in the morning. Or he held this a din of derabim, and this is some many Shitas Rishonim. The birchas hatayra deraisa is only by yidei rabim. The pasuk is Kishem Hashem Eka v'Gadol Elokeinu. Just like Zimun, you need minimum 3 or maybe 10, whatever it is. It's got to be Torah b'Rabim. Kishem Hashem Eka Havu means a minimum of 3 people. Shem Eka is 1, Havu is 2. There's a minimum of 3 people there. So all you know, the birchas hatayra b'toich shloisha, there's a din of Shem Hashem Eka v'Gadol Elokeinu. Just like by Zimun, you can't know that every time a person learns, he has to make a bracha. Because what does the pasuk say? As Rashi says, what's he saying? He has a problem. He has to equate this to the Gemara in Yuma. And what's he saying? He's basically saying that this, I'm going to make a birchas hatayra, and you're going to say, Amen. That's the equivalent of Shema Mefarish and Bol Shem Kved Malchus L'Olam Vod. Now we have a shtickle problem here. I'm going to say it again. Where exactly do you have, what does Baruch mean? So if you say Kol Ha'inu Amen means I totally accept what you're saying. So what you're saying, you say Baruch. When I say Amen, I'm saying the same Baruch. So is that Havu Gadol Elokeinu or repeating what you said? Is that what he's saying here? I'm trying to understand. What is this Amen? What does this mean? Amen. The Gemara says Amen. Kabbalah's Dvarim. Amen. Harmonis Dvarim. Amen. Ki'ilu haitzim mipiv dami. That's the Gemara in Shavuos. Let me bring the Gemara for you. That's the Gemara in Shavuos. Yeah, there it is. 1 minute. Design. 1 second. Pink. Now I'm losing my pages. Looking at the Tzuras Daf. It's not this one. No, it should be here. Is it Memvav? 1 minute. 1 minute. No, it's not Memvav. It should be here. 1 minute. I don't know why pinked when I wanted something in front of me. Yeah, this is it. I have it. This is the Gemara. Yeah, Omer Rabbi Yosef bar Chanina. Amen by Shvua, by Kabbalah's Dvarim, by Haman's Dvarim. When you say an Amen, that's Rashi. By Shvua, you know, Omer Acha Shvua Kemaitzi Shvua Mipiv Dami. That's number 1. By Kabbalah's Dvarim, Omer Lechavera Amenashe Tekaim Litnai Kach V'Kach. He says Amen. It's as if he's Ani Mikabel. Haman's Dvarim Roy Lamed Amen Al Dvar Tefila V'Techina Shuloshem Ma'amin Hadvarim Sheyeh Rotzen Sheyeh Emes Kein. When the person asks, yes, I hope this happens. So where exactly is it the Amen found the Havu Gadol Elokeinu? Bishleim Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus L'Olam V'ad. That's a tchina that should be a ribui kavod shamayim. How does the Amen get Havu Gadol Elokeinu? Bishleim by Zima Yesa Yishem Hashem Mevarech Me'atav Adoila. Okay, this I can understand. You're being Marbu kavod shamayim. Where exactly in Amen is there a Kabbalah shamayim? What are you saying? You're making a bracha. What are you saying? Beracha tayet, let it be. That's what you're saying. Haman's Dvarim Kabbalah, so let it be. So you could possibly say, if you understand that Baruch is not a bakosha, but a shvach, the way we learned at the time. So yes, we agree. Haman's Dvarim is not Kabbalah's Dvarim. It's Haman's Dvarim, so let it be. So yes, it is so. Not so let it be. But normally Kabbalah, Haman's Dvarim means, as Rashi says, so let it be. Here it means it is the truth. We agree. Okay, a possibility, maybe. That would include you. Understand that Baruch Ata is a shvach. Atam Makor HaBracha, we agree you're the Makor HaBracha. The problem is, how do we know that this is not adding more than the other person said? This is doing exactly what the person said. Here, the Shem Hashem Makor Havu Gadol Elokeinu. You're supposed to add more. That's why we say, he said Yudke Vavke, you say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus L'Olam V'ad. That's how Rashi understands. I'm pointing out the doichik, nothing more than that. So Rashi understands that every Amen is not just a techina, halavai ken yeh. It's also v'ani maskim lashvach. Good. And important nekuda to remember when you're mechaven Amen. That's Rashi in brachas. Granted. So there's a kiyum din according to Rashi in every Amen of kishem Hashem Eko. But weiter ashayla mechiteisid shema mefirish. The Patik Gemara is only talking Shema Vaya Ekler, talking about Shema Mefarish. How do you know not Shema Mefarish? How do you know not Shema Mefarish? Add bigger question. If Amen is enough, why did they say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus L'Olam V'ad? Oh, the answer, that's another passion. Because in other words, whatever by a bracha in the Mikdash, not by a Shem Hashem Stam. There, they can be yotze with Amen. It's often the sugya incited by Birchas Kayanim, which is Yivarecha Hashem V'Yishmerecha. Right? You should say, okay, that's what he also did out of Shvach. That's good. There they said Baruch Shem Kvad Mechusel Vod. What would be the din by Ame? What we did if someone made a bracha b'shem ha'mefarish in the Mikdash, according to this, amen would be enough, and you wouldn't answer Baruch Shem Kvad Mechusel Vod. Because the whole din of Baruch Shem Kvad is only when you want to be mar b'shvach, when someone was maskir as Hashem. But if a guy was mevorach as Hashem, you answered amen equals you're also mevorach Hashem. That would be enough. As I come to Shitas Rashi. If you believe that amen to a bracha is called a din of Kishem Hashem Moko of V'Gadol Elokeinu, because you're not just hoping that what the guy asked for will happen. You're saying, yes, I also am a Baruch as Hashem. If that's the case, the amen should, and this is a kiyum din of V'Gadol Elokeinu, that would be enough by a bracha in the Mikdash. Okay. At the moment, no tinus, but it's a chiddush din which has to be taken into account that not everybody will have to agree to. So Rashi takes for granted that what's he saying here? This is a raya that he said a bracha. Now, when did he say the bracha? To the best of my knowledge, he said it after the psukim of Azinu Shemayim v'Yavka. He said that that's not part of the Divrei Torah. If he said the bracha medin Divrei Torah, this is Divrei Torah. What happened to the first two psukim? Why didn't he say it before he said Azinu? He only said it after he said Azinu. Before he said the proper, he gave basically a declaration, everyone should listen. Then he said, I'm going to make a bracha, answer an amen. And then he started saying, Atzur Tam and Paloi. Kum tois lefi zeh, that the psukim, if you did it, midin bracha, midin birchas Torah, the first two psukim are also Torah. Elam, are you going to say it wasn't Torah yet? That depends when this was written. So how do you know from here, birchas Torah? You only know there was a special idea of saying bracha on this shira. If this is midin Torah, I can understand. If the din Torah, I understand. If the shira demanded a tzura of Torah without a tzura of Torah, wouldn't have been a din. I agree with you totally. If that's the case, Mamela, you have to make this be a raya, you have to make a bracha on something which has a din of tzura of Torah. Granted, but if that's the case, that part of that includes the words hazinu. If you look in Ariach Agabel Levena, how it's written in the Torah, now it gets worse. The tzura of the shira starts with hazinu. In the way it's written, tzura the shira, it's not that the first two psukim are outside of it and the poem starts with tzura tam and paloi. Open up a sefer Torah or read see Rambam. No, the tzura hazinu, the way it's written by Riach Agabel Levena, starts with the word hazinu. So hazinu is also part of the guf of the uvda of this shira, which is the tzura Torah. So manushach, why is the pasuk written in the middle? Why is it written after? And l'chayra, the only reason logically would be because until beforehand he wasn't addressing a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He was talking to the Shemayim v'Oretz, the Tal of the Chulu. Now I'm about to praise God proper. Since I'm about to praise God, you have to answer the. You should, whenever I mention God in context of this shira, you should be my becovered Shemayim and say That's what they had to say. They didn't say Amen here. That's the pshuta shemikah of the pasuk. Forget this drasha is far, far, far from anything close to a ikra of a drasha. L'chayr, it only makes sense if it's not smachta. And you read the sugya for yourself. It's definitely not what a Yud-Gil or Midrash HaTorah in the drasha. It's definitely not pshuta shemikah. As far as pshuta shemikah, this makes no sense. We're talking about Shema Mefarish. Was tut sich da? So l'chayr is nothing more than that. The biggest raya, I'm saying again, Rashi's in Gadol. If this pasuk would have written before, he said Azinu Nicha. But we know it's not that way. We know that for the din Torah is definitely before. But the din Shira is definitely starts with Azinu. It doesn't start with the words Atzur Tam and Pa'alai. The pshuta shemikah means that I'm about to mention God in praise. Be my bekovet shemayim, and that's not but that's not a vote of birchas Torah before I start saying divrei Torah, because you said already divrei Torah. You said azinu shemayim. A pasuk echad is genug. You don't need a shir of 3 psukim for birchas Torah. Azinu shemayim v'daber v'shma zim refi shon gereb naf shemachna birchas Torah. What's a geshen? That's a pella. Therefore, this Rashi, according to that, if I understand that this is nothing more than an asmachta, then according to that, if they were talking about a bracha of an asmachta, then I'm taking for granted the fees of the word minat Torah means as an asmachta l'Torah for dindra abanan. The fees of the beginning of the memor Amri Rudav Rav Renayin leBirchas Hamazon la'Charam minat Torah shenemar is also talking about birchas Hamazon d'Rabbanan. He's not talking about the Birchas Hamazon D'Oraisa. He's talking about the Birchas Hamazon D'Rabbanan. What's it? It's a smachta. If you want to learn the sugya like a mensch, that would be the conclusion. The stomach of the Gemara is not talking D'Oraisa. It's talking everything on D'Rabbanans. And that's the stomach of the Gemara. We have to understand this is what he's talking about. And now you'll see the bite of the Gemara, you'll chop. So the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Lamadna Birchas HaTorah La'acharei min Birchas Hamazon Mikal V'chaymer. How do we know Birchas HaTorah La'acharei? We know that from Birchas Hamazon with a Kal V'chaymer. Now, when we say Kal V'chaymer, does that have to allude to a din of Yud Gil and Midas HaTorah in the drashes them with a drasha, with a din D'Oraisa? Hello? Does anybody know? It's enough in the Gemara. Where's the Gemara? The Gemara in Megillah. Gemara says that Esther sent to the Sanhedrin that they should be Kaveya Yom Tov L'Dairis, and it should be Kaveya. You should want Purim. And they told her, lady, Memches Nevi'im stood up and didn't make a suffix in the Torah. How can you do this? What's the Pashat Shaila? The Shaila is we're going to be over about Taisif. That's how the Rambam and all Rishonim learn. We'll be over about Taisif. We can't just make. You're allowed to make harchavis of a din d'oraisa, siyagim v'gdaros, but just to make something out of blue, a yom tov meichi teisi. This is about Taisif. How can we do this? So the Gemara, they said they didn't leave until they found a smach min Torah. What's the pasuk? The pasuk says, they made a kal v'chaymer. Moshe, the Yidden said shir alayah. So the Gemara says mi avdus lecheres. They said shira kol shekain. That what? That they should say shira mi mavus lechayim. Now let's look at this carefully. And therefore what? And therefore, there's no more Baal Taisif. And therefore, there's no more Baal Taisif. That's the pshat in the Gemara. Why isn't it no more Baal Taisif? Because what happened up here? Tell me, the Shira was a Kiyam Din D'Oraisa? Does anybody think that the Shira Alayam was a Tzivui? There was a Kiyam Din D'Oraisa. Is there a pasuk of a Tzivui of Shira? Do you know your Chumash? Can someone please show me a Tzivui for the Shira? You obviously can't, because there isn't. So what does it mean? There's a kal v'chaymer that we learn from this din, from the fact that the Yidden said shira, that now obviously we have to say some kind of a halal v'idaya on mimavis l'chai. We're going to bring a mucker from something that happened to a raya that is a chiyuv. How do you do that exactly? Where would you get this from? If there was a pasuk to Mechayiv Shira on the Yam, bingo, make a great kal v'chaymer. Maybe we should make a chiyuv for the ladies to have separate dances to walk around with little, symbols. Make a kal v'chaymer. Mom, you should have just the ladies dance and made symbols, with the taif. We should not have all the ladies in the shul. Is dancing around with that type. It would be really cool. I suggest this. Whoever thinks A should think B. Maybe we should add that to our agenda. What's the pshat? I mean, you have to know pshat. What's the pshat in this whole thing? What kind of kal v'chaymer is it? How can you have a kal v'chaymer if there's not a pasuk? Is the Meiser Rabbeinu David ben Filin's Chidushim on Sanhedrin? The Meiser, it's alluded to in Rambam and Sefer HaMitzvahs. Let me see if you can find them and say for mitzvahs. It's very clear that there was no chiyuv deraisa to say shira alayam. It couldn't be a chiyuv deraisa if the Torah didn't demand it. We don't make up deraisis unless the Torah demanded it. We don't say they did that because they were mechuyev to do it, unless people who learn the Mishnah Gemara that way are going to have to say that Moshe commanded them. God, you have to say shira. No, I hate to say it. I couldn't get crookeder if I wanted to. If I would say that. I hope no one disagrees with me. I mean, I'd be ashamed to think otherwise. I mean, unless people actually think, obviously the Lord sent the Archangel Michael to tell Moses, command them Jews to start singing. Okay? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't meet the Archangel Michael. He didn't tell me otherwise. I can't say. Narishkeit. So what is this? Tell me what this is. The answer is it's a davar pashut. Let me quote. I'll tell you what Rabbeinu David said, but first I'll read it in Rambam. Rambam writes in the Minyan HaMitzvahs at the beginning of the Sefer of Yad Chazaka, after counting all the mitzvahs, he writes as follows. Elohei sheish ma'os l'shloishes mitzvah shenemru l'Moshe b'Sinai, hein v'chlaloseim v'proteseim v'digdukeim. Also now close v'protes v'digdukim. This is literally after the Minyan HaMitzvahs and the Akdama to the Yad Chazaka. V'abiurim shelo mitzvah he Torah shebal peh. Remember this, very important. This is what we call Torah shebal peh. Klalos protes digdukim v'abiurim shel kol mitzvah v'mitzvah. Mashikiblu bezdin mipi bezdin. This is not Yalfusis. This we got from Moshe Rabbeinu Sinai. Bezdin mipi bezdin. Mitzvahs acheros. Listen carefully. Shenischachu achar matan Torah. V'kava osam neviim v'chachamim u'pashtu b'chol Yisrael. Kigoyin mikra Megillah v'ner Chanukah. V'tainis Tisha B'Av v'yadayim v'erevin. V'yesh the kol mitzvahs elu pirushi v'dikdukim hakol yizbayah b'chibur zeh equals. That's not Torah shebal peh, but that's also found in this book. Remember that these things. Erevin is not Torah shebal peh. It is except for Torah shebal peh. If you read the Rambam again carefully, kol elu mitzvah shenischachu chayavim anu lekablem l'shamram shene'emar lo yasur mikol hadavar. We have to listen to the rabbis. Ve'inam tosefes ha-mitzvahs ha-Torah. They're not in addition to the Torah, because that would be a problem. Ve'alma yizira ha-Torah le'soisiv le'sigra. With the pasuk said that even a prophet shelo yanavi rishoy lechadish davar v'loma shakadosh baruch hu tzivo b'mitzvah zu lo yisifa le'mitzvahs ha-Torah o lechaser achas me'ela sheshmosh v'shlosh le'mitzvahs. There's no Baal Taisif. Why? So he says, Avli Mosifu Bezdin im Navi. Shiyeh ba'oshe azman mitzvah derech takana or derech eroah or derech gezerah. Then we say if it's takana, eroah or gezerah, ein zeh tosefes. Why? Shrei lo amru shakadosh baruch hu tziva lasot eruv or lekrotam gilah b'onata v'yilu amru kein ayu mosifim al Torah elakach anu omrim. How could they do it? Shanevim im Bezdin tiknu v'tzivu likreis ha-Megillah ba'inasai. Why? He adds why. To answer his question, why is there no Baal Taisif? Why? Kidei la'askir shvachav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu u'tshuot she'asa lanu v'haya karov l'shav'einu. Why are we doing this? Kidei levarcho u'lahalalo. Number one. That's why we're reading the Megillah. To be Muvarach Mahala on the Tovus that he did, Ukadei lo dia la dorot habaim she'emet mashif tichonu b'Torah. This is to verify the promise of a Kadosh Baruch Hu mi goy gadol asher lo Elohim krovim elav kashem Elokeinu b'chol kareinu elav. V'al derech zei kol mitzvah shehi midivrei sofrim ben aseh ben lo taseh. What is the Rambam giving me this speech for? He says basically they can only make gzeiros. Gzeiros they don't need reasons for. It's a pasuk, v'asum mishmeres to mishmarti. But what about making new takanas out of the blue? They have no right to do it. The only reason they can do it because this is fulfilling a biblical value. It's a harchava based on an ancient value of shirs v'tishbachus l'kadosh baruch hu. And since now they're applying that value in a certain nest, that is not Baal Taisif. This is Mefurish and Chidusha of David Bonfield. This is what the Rambam is saying here. Why would the Rambam suddenly give me a big speech? He's explaining the Gemara in Megillah. Why are we doing this? Why isn't it about Taisif? Because we are being Mishabech Kadosh Baruch Hu. To my dear, thank you for Kadosh Baruch Hu. How do we learn that's a thing to do? We learn that from Shir Sayam. They also thank the Kadosh Baruch Hu. There's a Kal V'chaimer. If the value of thanking Kadosh Baruch Hu, or not just definitely there's a value of thanking him. Now, therefore, it's not Baal Taisif. And now, why are you chayiv in this halal? V'yidoya midin d'Rabbanan. You can't there's no din of halal deraisa at all. You can't learn that from, so to speak, it's from Shir Sayam. It's a Takanas Hanavim, not deraisa. Takanas Hanavim shall go perik b'perik. When great things happen to us, we should thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where do we learn that value of thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu when great things happen? From the Kal V'chomer of Shir Sayam. Granted. But to say it's deraisa, I don't know. It's not the Gemara or the Rishonim that I know. I say this because the Chassam Sofer makes it into a deraisa. V'lo zechisi la'avinai. I don't know. Maybe he had different Bavli than me. I don't care, honestly. Okay, this is a davar pasha to me, and this is it's from Fusher Ben Adar Ben Phil was in Pei Bezer Pei Ches and Sanhedrin that he writes this. It's Mefurish that the reason you need this kavachim, if not, it would have been Baltaisu, because it's not a gzeira, lishmor mishmeres atayra like a geder. What gives them right to legislate new things? The answer is this. What am I trying to say? We see from there the word kalvachimer does not mean a chusa deiraisa. Kalvachimer is also used to basically to extrapolate a value, to apply it in other places. That's what I needed. So when you use the language of Kal V'chomer back over here in brachas, it doesn't have to mean deraisa. It simply means that same value that we saw in a passage which talks of bracha, Takadish Baruch Hu should have a Kal V'chomer of Lifaneh. It's extending the asmachta. I'm doing this for a reason you'll see in a minute. So he says, I say this because I know that by Hallel people use that Kal V'chomer and Megillah to make it into a din deraisa. They somehow figured that somehow there was a tzivui in the Yamsuf that they should say Shira. I don't know. I don't think that's found in Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, or Midrash Chazal. To make it up is interesting. Latter-day Saints, what can I tell you? It makes no sense. So when they all tell you this, some cipher, like they grind it over as if it's, like old news, look at it and say, please, with great respect, you light a candle on his yard site. Very important. But tell me where the tzivui is. I don't know one. Yishashti b'chol kele en kazet tzivui. L'chen al koch, that Kal V'chomer is nothing more than Rav Blachman says, which is Mashma and Rambam. That's why it's not Baltoisim. It doesn't say that Hallel Megillah is deraisa. Some Sefer wants to say that if you don't have a Megillah al Pidin, you're chayav to say Hallel. He doesn't chap that Gemara is only telling why the takana of Megillah is not about Taisif, like the Rambam writes. He actually thinks that's the mechayev from that Kal V'chomer Mele. If you don't have a Megillah, you have to read Hallel. I grant there's a Meiri like that. I want you to know. But from one Meiri versus some of the Rishonim, goodness sakes, but Paskin Tazaya Halacha. Therefore, is it an important value? Hell yes. And I've already discussed multiple times. Values are very, very obliging in our religion. Let's remember that. Don't be mezalzel on a value. But sometimes it's more, God's angry if you don't do that more than a tzivui. We discussed this at length. But machas dish can deraisa. It's very important. A deraisa is the okay, whenever different, the deraisa means a tzivui ma'kadosh baruch hu to Moshe. That's what deraisa means. Umeil lefiza, when it says over here Kal V'chomer, here's the same thing. It says, what did it say? Amar Rabbi Yechon laman lebichas haTorah la'acharei min birchas hamazon mikal V'chomer. U'birchas hamazon lefanei min birchas haTorah mikal V'chomer. Birchas haTorah la'acharei min birchas hamazon mikal V'chomer. Ma mazon she'eino torn lefanav, torn la'acharav. Torah shetuna lefanei ein adin shetuna la'acharei. Ubirchas hamazon lefanei min birchas haTorah mikal V'chomer. Ma Torah she'ein tuna la'acharei. Tuna lefanei mazon shetuna la'acharav ein adin shetuna lefanav. And then the Gemara goes in certain pirchas. Finally, the Gemara said this is all wrong. This is the Gemara. So when I read this Gemara, do I have any hechach to say that this is really Minat Torah? Or do I say the Menayin and bringing this pasuk is the equivalent to the Menayin by Zimun? Is the fact that the words Minat Torah prove it all that's deraisa? That's the question. It's open to question. But the problem is, in order to understand the deraisa, you have to find how Kishem Hashem Ekra becomes a din deraisa specifically on Torah. Now, l'chayr in Torah Shebiksav, you would have an Eitzah, as the Ramban says in the Akdama, that all Torah shebiksav equals chumash, not nach, is shmeisav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So kishem Hashem Eker means calling out psukim with the chumash. Havu gadol Elokeinu yepi marbu kavod shamayim. I didn't have birchas Eidah when I call it the name Shem HaMefarish, and just like the Shem HaMefarish is mechayv, reading chumash is Shem HaMefarish. Kemuvur beRamban is akdama. The kol HaTorah kula shmeisav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Itaka says that he writes it explicitly in this akdama at the end of the akdama to chumash, where he says these words. You can read this in Shevel, page Vav going into Zion. The Makar is a Zayir in Vayikra. A Raisa Kula Shmada Kudshabrichu. And he goes and explains it. You can read this Rambam. But for goodness sakes, this would not include Novir Ksuvim, and definitely would not include Torah Shebiksav, Belpeh, in any fashion, form, or size. But this is a possibility, but that's far from Rashi. That I can understand to say, if that's the case, at least it will fit in the pasuk in Kishem Hashem Eko Avo Gadol Elokeinu. Whenever there's a Kriya Shem HaMefarish, the Mechayv of Shrak, that I agree. And if you think the Kol HaTorah Kula Shmoysa Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're right. The problem is Lo Ashkachna B'Shum Duchta. There's a what is Taka di Halacha? Saying Birchas HaTorah and Nevi'im and Ksuvim. Is that the Rais or the Rabbanan? If people think you learn from the pasuk, does it include this too? Here's where the story gets interesting. So let's see what is happening. What's the Dasa Rambam in this story? So I sent you in your sheets. You can look it up. I hope you have it. I sent it to you on your phones. Let me take. I want to see it here also, make my life easier. Steht dort azoi. You have it here. Here it goes. Let's first read Rambam. So the Rambam writes in Hilchas Tefillah, in Perik Zion, Halacha Yud. Rambam describes Hamashkim Likros by Torah. You wake up in the morning, you're going to read Torah. Kodim Sheyikra Kriyas Shema Bein Kor B'Torah Shebiksav Bein Balpeh. Not the Yod Tchila Umevarach Sholish Brachas. Does he use the word Chayv? He says that's what we do. Sholish Brachas. V'achakach Kaira ve'Elohem Baruch Hashem Kenachayla Meshikisens V'Tzvana Divrei Torah Harevna etc. Then it says Asher B'Chabon Mikol Ha'amim, and then it says unto us Nation Torah. That's it. Doesn't even use the words Chayiv if you look at it carefully. This is what you do. That's what he writes. He obviously doesn't mention the word Chayiv, not definitely Raisa. In here, the next, that's found in Hilchas Tefillah. In Hilchas Brachas, which is your next text, Perik Aleph Halacha Aleph, Mitzvahs HaSeim in HaTorah, Levorach Achar Chilas Magen Shenema V'Achalta Zavota V'Rachta Hashem Elokecha. Ve'Ni Chayiv Min HaTorah Ela Im Sova. He holds not like the Ramban, you have to have Knei Shviyah. Shenema V'Savata V'Rachtum. The very safe Mafil Kazayt V'Vorach Cholov. So you don't have to be blind to understand. It's very clear that Rambam holds the Birchas HaTorah is D'Rabbanan. He doesn't say Chayiv, doesn't even use the word Chayiv, let alone Min HaTorah. That's, I think, a Birsa B'Kutra, if you see how the Rambam formulated the halachas. Parallel, Perik Aleph Brachas, Halacha Aleph, to Perik Zayin Tefillah, Halacha Yud. Now let's see what the Kiyah Sefer writes, the Mabit. Once again, yeah, we have to have the Cheretz for everything, but let's be honest what the text says. Look what the Mabit writes. In your next text, you have the Mabit and Kiyah Sefer. Mabit, the counterpart to the Beis Yosef. This is a Gaver Rabba Ma'oid, to say the least. Before we go further, what is the book of Mabit? This book is Kiryas Sefer. Remember what Kiryas Sefer? Kiryas Sefer is a book on Rambam. Basically, as you raise the Akdama to explain which halachas are deraisa, which are derabanan, which are minhagim, which are takans, etc. That's the purpose of the book. Is that clear? Okay, you can read the Akdama to the book. That's what he writes. In context of what I just told you, let's read what he writes about Perik Yud Beis over here. He writes, Birchas HaTorah lefonah min HaTorah, shene'amar ki Shem Hashem Eko v'gadol Elokeinu. Rambam eina mayna isa mitzvah b'fnei atzma, nireh she'u b'chlal mitzvahs Talmud Torah, u'lahachi lo'ibah b'minyan, avhi mid'oraisa. Ubekriyas Torah b'tziva kishima deiraisa. Tzorech hakare lamoid u'blei smicha, etc. This goes whatever it goes further. Here he says, brings before she believes that what that there is a concept of birchas Torah deiraisa. Well, with greatest respect, definitely not the bracha on every person reading Torah stam. That the Rachman doesn't mention at all, as we pointed out before Shnuchas Tefillah. That's clearly not there. So obviously, I actually see, I wrote my notes on the book on the side. Ayin Tefillah Zayin Yud Brachas Aleph Aleph. So the first, the Rag Birchas Hamazon is deiraisa. Actually, this is like an old note with Xaviad. I must have been very young when I wrote this one. Okay, this is clearly that. Miss Officer was great for the Kiyah Sefer at Tzorachiyun. Now, what's his mucker? I just told you the mucker. It's never pushy. Let the Sugi Pshuta. It's in a smachta. Because the Rambam is not the type of guy that's going to write the Torah's Kol Torah Shmoisav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's not exactly the way he writes and thinks. This is very Ramban. But to say this Kol Torah Shmoisav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Pshat Kishem Hashem Ekra, no, this is Nish Derech HaRambam to be, and I'm being sweet. Okay, it's so far from that's crazy. To learn Pshat like Rashi, I can understand why he doesn't agree. Leipzig, he understands it's a din d'Rabbanan. Lamaisa, he has a mucker, and I'm going to show you the mucker. And the mucker is as follows. If you go to Yerushalmi, there's a lot of Yerushalmi to learn, but I'm going to show you one thing which is important. In the second page of Yerushalmi, if you see, I gave you 3 pages of Yerushalmi. I'm going to skip the first one at the moment, go to the second one where it's underlined. Rebbe Aimer. Umayim b'shasha ochal v'sova tzorach levarech b'shashu toiv lechol loikol shekain ad kedei mazon. Torah ma im mazon she'en elachai yeshua toim bracha lefanav v'lachayrav Torah shechaya olam loikol shekain. No, that's a deiraisa. Does anybody think that that's a derisive? Does he bring the pasuk Yishem Hashem Ekov V'Gadol Elokeinu? That was a memory of Reb Yehuda Amarav. Very fine. This is Rabbeinu HaKadosh. A shtickle earlier. It's called the Tana. And he brings it from a Kal V'chomer. Now we already learned the words Kal V'chomer don't have to mean a din deraisa. The Rai is from the Gemara Megillah. Weiter, go take to the end, the bottom of that page. Omer Shmuel bar Avdima, Lo lamdu birchas Torah birchas hazimun, b'chlal elo l'rabim. You don't learn it from birchas hamazon, you learn from birchas hazimun elo l'rabim. So to Yerushalmi in the next page, v'im l'rabim afilu beinu bein atzman lo yivorech. So if you say the only mocker from Kishay is only because of Rabim, not only there you have a halacha, but what if a guy learns on he shouldn't say the bracha. What does the Gemara say? Omar Rabbi Mori Achmed Rabbi Yosi Asu Kishar Kol Mitzvah Shul Torah. Mashar Kol Mitzvahs two nice brachos. That's the Rabbanan. I hope you know that. Avzu Tuuna Bracha Zer Shein Anayadin. What is this Yerushalmi hold? This Yerushalmi hold the Birchas Torah. If you hold Birchas Torah, the unique din of Birchas Torah, which you learn from Birchas Hamazon, is only D'Rabbanan, is only Barabim. So B'Yachid, a Birchas Torah is nothing more than a Birchas HaMitzvah, like every other Birchas HaMitzvahs. That's D'Rabbanan. I mean, you don't have to be too smart to understand that the Yerushalmi doesn't dash in this drasha of Kishem Hashem Ekov V'Gadol Elokeinu. And if anything, you try to bring it from a Kal V'chomer, from Birchas Hamazon, Naniach, you're going to learn it's D'Oraisa. Maybe it means this one's a D'Oraisa. But then he says, well, even if it is D'Oraisa, you only learn it from Birchas Hamazon. There's 3. So if there's going to be a D'Oraisa, it'll only be by Limud Torah B'Rabim. Mashen can be Yachid. The Yerushalmi says it can only be D'Rabbanan, like a Birchas HaMitzvahs. The only question is this arguing with the Bavli? If you learn the Bavli is holding his D'Oraisa, you may be arguing. If you understand that because of this, you look back at the Bavli, say it's also D'Rabbanan. It's an asmachta, as we pointed out. At the end of the day, it's quite clear there's a strong case to understand that Aleph, some of the Yerushalmi that's D'Rabbanan. Bavli, I hate to say it, it's tzorich in Godel how to make it into a D'Oraisa. This is the Ad Kan. I'm sure that most people never bothered seeing this in its primary source. You took something for granted, then you heard shtickle Torah from here until the Gichon. Now let's read the Ramban. Dr. Ramban, and then tomorrow I'll tell you, I'll put it, and then I'll really put my Makir Patish. Dr. Ramban, Look, the Ramban, you have it right after the B'kir Sefer, go up before the Yerushalmis, the Ramban and Sefer HaMitzvahs and the Shikha at the end of Mitzvahs Asay. There's a list of the Mitzvahs Asay, which the Rambam, so to speak, forgot to count. And you have Mitzvah Tesvav. Shenitztavenu, we were commanded, Laudot L'Shmoid Barach, to thank God, B'chol 8, Shenikra B'Torah. Ala Tovah Gdolah She'asa Lanu, this is just beautiful to read. And this unbelievable Torah they did to us. That he gave us his Torah. And he let us know what are the things he really wants us to do. He believes this is a deraisa. Now he's going to prove it. No, we already pointed out a schwache raya. Weiter. V'atzalin more birkas hamazon lefon of sheyem in Torah. B'kal v'chaymer mizeh. We also said, what's the right to write in Torah? Maybe it means to say that there's no smachta for birkas hanenin from birkas Torah, which is also not smachta with the kal v'chaymer. No raya. Amru ma Torah sheina tuna bracha la'acharei tuna lefanea. Mazan shetun la'acharei and adin sheton lefanea. As we pointed out, the word kal v'chomer doesn't have to mean a deraisa. That's why I bought that gemara by Hallel. Unless they decide that somehow there was a kal v'chomer there, which is also with the tzivui. Ve'yishivu al zeh miderech apircha ismal l'tereshkin chaya olam, etc. And since they took this kal v'chomer seriously and they made a pircha on it, this tells it's a kal v'chomer, and once it's a kal v'chomer, it takes for granted it's deraisa. The Rambam doesn't have to think that smuchach, the raya is going to be with the kal v'chomer, my avos l'cheres and shir liyam. Ve'yishivu al zeh miderech apircha ismal said, v'oitnan al hamazon mevorach la'achrav, ve'enu mevorach lefonav. V'chepsim b'zeh, shekiven shebal keri, einu keri mevorach lefonav, v'mazon, mevorach la'acharei, nilmet shebracha lacha b'levad imin ha'Torah, u'lefikach eina b'teila, mipnei takanas tefila b'tval keri. V'shema minei, the kal v'chomer the pirchu, v'oila mizeh, the birchas HaTorah lefanea, zeh mitzvah deraisa. I think we've unstabilized that, so we can now go further. Ubi Gemara de Beima Ravi, he quotes Yerushalmi, very sweet. He quotes the Yerushalmi 1 page earlier. He didn't quote the 2 pages I quoted. He quoted the 1 page earlier. It said, Amru, kosev b'Torah bracha lefanea, ve'en kosev ba bracha la'acharei. Ma kosev ba lefanea, ki shem Hashem ekor v'ged le'elokeinu. But you all know that weiter the Gemara doesn't learn that way. Rebbe doesn't learn that way. He learns in the kal v'chomer b'birchas hamazon Yerushalmi. So what are you telling me? That there's someone that wrote this? How do I know that's deraisa? According to Rebbe, we learned it from a kal v'chomer, from birchas hamazon, not from this pasuk. Kosev b'mazon bracha la'achrav. Ein kosev bracha lefonav. Ma kosev la'achrav v'chalt l'zavot v'rachshem l'kecha, etc. Michlal zeh mizbayer shabracha zu min ha'Torah ve'en ra'ui limnoisim mitzvah achasim akriya. Here he tries to say, well, maybe the Rambam holds like the Rambam B'Kei Sefer writes, it's a deraisa, but it's part of the kriya, the mitzvah of limud ha'Torah. He said that's not true, and he says why. But if you can't find in Lashon HaRambam anywhere that there's a chi of deraisa and birchas HaTorah in the yad, that's not the reason. The reason is it's not a chi of Torah. He is so convinced it's a chi of Torah that he says, obviously the Rambam, the only reason he wouldn't count it is because it's part of the mitzvah of limud ha'Torah. If you find anywhere in the Rambam that the birchas HaTorah is deraisa, I may have to eat my phone. It's not there. We were medayik the lashonis to see the differences. It's a bisa bekutcha. It's a davar pashat. The Rambam sees this. The stama tanoim, the tanoim shebirushalmi Rabbeinu Hakadosh. It doesn't darshan that drasha v'yeshem Hashem ekra. The question is, how does he understand even the Bavli? And so therefore, I don't see that there's even an issue on the table. It's a davar pashat. The stam of the miltzitz of the Rabbanan. Elamai on the side, what they get at the Rabbanan, this becomes really interesting. Is it a special halach of shvach Rabbanan, or is this? Well, that depends. If it's the Rabbim or the Yachid. In the Rabbim, it's going to be a din, a special halacha that we learn like birchas hamazon, a birchas hashvach. What's going to be as far as you and me making a bracha b'yachid? It's going to be a proper birchas hamitzvahs. The only problem is going to be if it's a birchas mitzvah, we would expect a sheikh chon mitzvah v'tzivanu. And with great respect, there are 3 brachas there, and the primary bracha is asher bachar banu. Where is the birchas mitzvahs? Why weren't they not misakin? Why did they? More says Daf Yud Aleph. This we'll see tomorrow. Daf Yud Aleph Amud Beis and brachas that the primary bracha is asher bachar banu, not asher kichonim mitzvahs. I locharev is a birchas mitzvahs. What's the pshat? Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Learning more brachas Yud Aleph Amud Beis, Rashi and Rabbeinu Yoina and Taisvus. Good. Pleasure seeing you all. I hope you learned something. Definitely not the standard. This I happen to know. Take care. Bracha v'atzlacha. Enjoy. See you tomorrow. Okay.